square root of -1.
Exactly. You know what's also square root? I actually don't know, but I got myself a hetrosexual Weizener.
Square root beer.
Yeah, except it's not root beer, it's actual beer. So it doesn't rot my teeth. Which is a good thing.
It rots your stomach.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, there's only 2 genders, fuck you. This is a new episode of Rothingham.
It's a spectrum. There has only 2 points on it.
We are, well, no, it's got 5.7%, so not whatever you said. So yeah, welcome
2
to
regular plus maybe 2 anomalies.
So yeah, welcome to this episode of Radio Rothingham, the least professional podcast on the internet. We already decided it's gonna be the topicless episode. I don't know why.
Where we have no topic.
We have no topics whatsoever.
Oh, we do.
So go away.
Absolutely
Don't even bother listening
true.
to us.
It's absolutely true. We have no topics. We got nothing lined up. We have no co-host. There's not yours truly, the Artrix. There's not Bakphoon. See, he doesn't even respond. That's how non-existent he is. We also got Astra, or token female. See, he doesn't exist too, because he's too busy playing Overwatch or whatever. And we got Sekele.
I don't exist.
He doesn't exist
Obviously.
either. So obviously, at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm just talking to myself now. And we got Xaverius.
I'm especially not here.
Yeah. So yeah, this is just me talking to myself. No one's around. It's
Plot twist. You are talking all the episodes all to yourself.
it's a
who are
very,
you?
very sad existence.
Radio Rothingham minus Radio Rothingham.
Oh yeah, this is an interesting beer. It's got a very interesting taste to it, which is very interesting. Also now I sound like a hipster faggot. Anyway, so yeah, what non-existent topic are we going to bring up? First of all, I think there is the elephant in the room. That Penboy is not around. He's dead. Xaverius. I'm not gonna go in detail because that's just plain rude, but there's a few things going on in this current life that needs to be taken care of.
In this current timeline.
In this current
It's the darkest timeline for him.
In an alternative timeline, you know, he's basically the president of the world. He has united all the countries and he rules everything with 9 fists, but we're not in that particular dimension. There's also a dimension in which I am in that role, and that's a very terrible one. I would not advise anyone to ever, try and go to that dimension. I can vouch that it's very, very terrible.
Done that cheap.
Sorry?
That
deed than deed.
Done that cheap.
Yes.
Because alternate universe where you are president. Jojo will get it.
Sounds like an alternate universe where Joan Jett is president.
Imagine,
I'll be a good president.
You know, imagine an alternative universe in which Steve Shives is the world president. Can you imagine that? In before who is Steve Shives?
Some kind of cuck.
Well, he is, and he would basically make it mandatory. Like if you're not a complete wuss and completely subservient to, well, anyone really, then you need to be deleted, which is basically something he said recently. Apparently he was in a stream and he was like, yeah, if you make anti-feminist content, but I'm not going to make friends with these anti-feminists. Instead, I'm going to make friends with people that can delete their channels. But I'm so pro-free speech. But these things have been settled. Because I said so. Because I'm Steve Shives. I'm the shiny beacon of reason or whatever.
Someone has to delete him out of existence.
No, not really, because that would mean that we'd be going as low as he would go. I mean, look at it. Look at this. Look at it from this angle. At this point, lazy green, lazy green. I am such a progressive feminist. Look at me talk about tits and sex and whatnot. And oh my god, we're literally in Nazi America now, and whatever is being more reasonable than Steve Shives. That is an achievement. That's amazing, actually.
That's just sad to me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
know,
it is
that's-
also
that's
amazing.
that we not only hit rock bottom, but we are digging to the center of the earth.
Well, that could be very useful. I mean, there's a lot of energy in the, you know, we're looking up to the sun for energy requirements, but you know, all this time the answer's right under our feet.
I mean, if you want to go the doom route and harvest energy from hell, then go ahead.
Yeah, but you know, that's fiction. What we're talking about is obviously founded on solid, documented scientific evidence. I mean, I mean, even the water seer doesn't have shit on this. I mean, the water seer thing is very scientific, but we're even more scientific here. I mean, come on. Also,
I'm not coming on.
Oh, okay. Are you coming off?
I'm getting off.
I am coming for you.
No, that's okay. You don't need to go through all that effort just to do that. Anyway, you know, also managed to get himself into a position of power, was also completely soulless and you know, the most inoffensive thing you can possibly imagine. Well, yeah, it's Mr. Macaroni, and
It's
yeah,
a macaron.
Macaron chacaron.
Indeed, it's type of food.
So yeah, it seems that the French population decided that the best guy to be their leader is someone who basically has no vision whatsoever and is basically just
To be
dog.
fair, they had to pick between a woman who had no program and a guy who had no program.
Yeah, so
they're like, let's be sexist.
Gee, sure. Where have I seen this before? Where have I seen this exact scenario play out?
No idea.
No, this is completely unprecedented. This hasn't happened in recent.
It's completely unprecedented indeed.
Yes. So yeah, of course we got the mainstream media gloating that their candidate won and suck it, you stupid misogyn nerds. Even you know, it's a woman that lost, but you know, let's forget for a moment. Yeah. It's not important.
Exactly.
You know, gender is not important, unless you know it's our girl. Then it's very important.
It's not important.
So yeah, I'm actually kind of like, in hindsight, it makes sense that
I told you so.
That
last week I said on this stream that she would win, that he would win, and you said that no, that it would be just like in America. But unlike America, the French are obviously cucked to hell.
It was just like America. The guy won. What are you talking about?
Then I suppose I had more. Then I misjudged the French, because it did seem like. Go ahead.
Refugees have successfully whipped them into subservience.
Well, I have seen the map where you can see which regions voted Le Pen and which were going to Macron, and well, it is fairly predictable. Like the big cities are obviously pro Macron, and then you got
because they are full of mud slimes.
You mean Muslims? I mean, let's not get into petty insults.
It's basically the 4chan term for them.
Yes, but yeah, there are, you know, large groups of well, not just immigrants obviously, but also a lot of these hipsters that are cosmopolitan hipsters that are like, yeah, we're better than everyone, so we're going to vote for the guy that's going to fight against racism. Even though, from what I gather, he's like, well,
here we go.
He's basically establishment the candidate. Like, he's basically the guy that will stand up for the bankers and big businesses, and basically, well, everything that's causing most of the modern troubles. Then again, apparently Le Pen's fiscal policy was really retarded, to the point where some people might be like, you know, I am getting sick of being terrorism all the time, but he's kind of going to ruin the economy. I kind of like having wealth, so
I kind of like the economy.
yeah. So, and you know, there's actually some reasoning that I can kind of see where they're going with that, because you know, even though Macron won, the anti-EU sentiment did not suddenly disappear, and I'm sure that there's still a metric shit ton of.
Did not.
Well,
Are you saying that the fact that Paris nearly burned on the evening Macron won was like? Are you saying that actually happened?
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like, yeah, guys, quote unquote, your guy won. He's not going to go all the pen on your asses, but yet you decide to burn the fucking city down.
Well, but we actually like Le Pen. But the other guys are like, we don't like Le Pen, and the third guy was like, we don't like anybody. This is the worst possible outcome. Let's set everybody else on fire.
Well,
they realized that no one is now going to stop them, and so they did what they always wanted to do.
French fighting the French. The only way the French can win.
By not playing?
No, by fighting the French, because the French always lose.
So they fight themselves. That
Yes.
makes perfect sense, I guess. But yeah, this whole situation is you know, on one end I'm, you know, happy this is all over, because it was getting kind of old. Though it's not over on the grand scheme of things, because we're still going to have to deal with the UK elections, which are basically the post Brexit election. So it's the main question is, how are we going to Brexit? And of course there's...
The question is, how much is Theresa May going to win?
Yeah, and apparently, you know, the Labour Party is getting blown the fuck out still, because they still don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. They're like, oh yeah, we're totally communists. Everyone fucking loves us because we're communists and pro-EU.
We're representing the working people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I read in a magazine that they exist.
You mean the Labour Party?
No, working people.
Oh yeah,
That was from the perspective of a working party.
Oh yeah, I've you know, I've been to Starbucks, and I've seen firsthand the suffering of those.
Saw them behind the window.
Yeah, I saw them, you know, working the till. You know, it must be really hard for these poor working class people to be poor working class people.
I saw these people working behind the counter, and it looked really hard.
Yes, you know, and they have to press all the buttons on the till, and yeah.
Pretty much.
So yeah, that's basically the entire experience with the working class, and well, I think they actually don't give a shit, and which is very apparent when you look at, you know, the way they're trying to get people riled up and everything. It's just so blatantly communist these days. Like, they used to be more subtle about it, but you look at their fucking rallies and it's all red and shit. And I think some of these people actually refer to one another as comrades, so yeah.
Yeah, everything must be nuked out of existence. Only solution.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't be able to do Radio Rothingham if everything's nuked, so...
I mean everything over there. Like France, UK, Canada,
but
Scandinavia, all those cacked countries.
But where
Scandinavia. Okay.
But where am I going to get my cheap goods from Amazon.co.uk if the entirety of the UK
From
is
Amazon,
nuked? Oh,
From
oh,
Slovakia, obviously, we are the best.
wait, you're saying that I can buy shit from Slovakia?
You can
Obviously.
try.
Yes, you can try, indeed.
I don't know about that. Do they have Symmetra figurines? I want to buy myself a Symmetra figurine because I can.
Don't they make those in Japan too?
Apparently they don't. The only figurine that I know of is those from Pop, like the Funko figurine. So
Pop.
Pop,
Pop.
with an exclamation point, of course.
Oh, yes.
Funko Pop.
Yes, Funko Pop. Collect all seven
Figurines of. Yes, figurines of everything.
Yes, collect all 7 billion of
Even
them.
of Artrix?
I'm pretty sure there's an Artrix Funko figurine out there.
And even if there isn't, there's gonna be one.
That needs to be a new rule of the internet. If it exists, there's a Funko doll
Yeah.
of it. But yeah, briefly going back to the French elections, I think that this Euroscepticism isn't going anywhere. And even though Le Pen may not have won the elections, I think she's still her party still managed to get a significant portion of power. And
Interesting. No, the
and who
thing
knows,
is, I
maybe
do not
they'll.
want,
Oh, go ahead.
I do not want the EU to disappear completely,
I
but
do.
I do want them to get enough of a scare. Like, they are going the totally wrong direction, and something needs to scare them enough for them to take the right course.
Well, I mean, they don't have to disappear, you're right. They can just fuck off back to Belgium.
Yeah, that's the problem with the EU. I don't think it can reform. At this point, the way they're behaving does not lead me to believe that they are willing or even recognize that they need to change. They're basically doubling down on their bullshit. It's like they realize that, oh my god, people are becoming more and more Eurosceptic, so yeah, we need to become more authoritarian assholes.
Let's force our laws on them. That'll help.
Yeah, instead of maybe we should recognize that people are actually expecting us to be a democratic system. Instead of that, we're just going to double down and make it even more shittier.
In that case, nuke them out of existence. And their children.
Well,
Especially the children.
Or everyone in Europe can just, stop paying any attention to them. So everyone's just doing their own thing and they're just sitting there in the cute little EU headquarters like, guys, we just passed new law. Obey it. Nope. And with that exact sound clip from Team Fortress 2. Nope. As a matter of fact, this is my new proposal. So yeah, if European Commission, if you're listening, I want you to install like speakers in your parliament, and whenever you even suggest a new law, just that sound clip plays through them. Like, we're proposing this new law that will make life for European citizens even shittier. Nope. And then there's even like a little screen that shows the engineer's neck extending as he says it. Nope. Or maybe we can just put a water seer in that building and see how they react to it. It's like, yeah, your laws make as much sense as this water seer. At this point, even toads will be a more effective thing than the European Commission. I mean, we know that we can choose what toads we're using.
Toads are just the superior way to build stuff anyway.
Yeah, indeed. So if we instead, of having this European Commission, we just put a few toads there. I'm sure they can do a better job than what they were able to do in the past 50 or so years. Just put you just go to up to the desk, you put a toad on, you put a toad there, and it can run that shit better than they were able to do in their
Yeah,
entire
you come to
miserable-
them, you pull out your Toda like, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen
This
of
is
the
my
European
toad.
Commission, this is
I
a
present
toad.
you the future, and then you pull the Toad out of your pocket and put it on the table.
Yeah,
And
it would.
it's like,
Hey,
ribbit, I'm a Toad.
doesn't that mean that Kek would finally rule Europe?
Yes,
Well, depends on whether you consider a toad
that's
to
probably
be...
the whole point.
Yes. Man, it's still they must look pretty silly when they made those documentaries on the BBC where they're like, oh my god, these horrible toad, the horrible Pepe people, they're infiltrating our French elections and they're ruining everything, and oh my god, it's gonna be terrible, and they control everyone. They're like the Illuminati confirmed, and now it's like, no. They didn't even manage to sway the elections. What are you talking about? Speaking of Pepe, here's an interesting thing that happened. So
Pepe in peace.
Yes, the creator of Pepe the Frog, I already forgot his name, but the original creator,
Matt Fury,
something
I
like
think.
that. Yes, he decided to kill off Pepe. He just couldn't.
Because he was unhappy.
He just
Useless gesture.
He was unhappy with the internet, so he went and killed Pepe. I mean, my headcanon is that Pepe was like, oh my god, there's a state full of people who eat frogs, and then he got a heart attack and died. But regardless, Matt Fury decided to kill off Pepe because he was unhappy that people were using him in...
Politics.
Yes, in politics, and making him a Hitler frog and a Nazi frog and other type of frog. And instead of just like, I don't know, encouraging people to make him into a Hillary frog, he rather killed him off. The problem is that he might have not realized that Pepe is no longer just his thing, and by killing him off in his comic, he did one thing only, and that was to remove himself from the great cosmic Pepe equation. So he lost even the little words that he had to say.
My thoughts exactly.
He did make later a statement that this is not the last thing we see from Pepe. So it means he might have plans to bring him back in the future.
Yeah,
Jesus,
but
Pepe.
it's not going to mean jack shit. I mean, people are already making
He will
comics.
just reboot Pepe, just like DC Comics and Marvel.
Not
Pepe
just,
reboot.
not just that, but the internet at large doesn't care. I mean, at this point, you know, the offspring of Pepe barely resembles the original for one thing. Like, the original character is so much different than the Pepes you see on a daily basis. So
He got much more comfy.
exactly, he got very comfy. Whereas the original, to be fair, the original Pepe also got comfy, but he's more like a useless stoner dude. So, you know, the original comic was basically like, oh man, dude, do you have some Doritos left? Because I got the munchies. Because we're a bunch of useless shits that sit around their asses all day long, just getting high and
We're sitting in our clubhouse getting high, super fuckers. Everybody wishes we would die, super fuckers.
Sounds like the leftists.
That is actually a theme song of an actual show.
Is
Called
it
Super
actual?
Fuckers.
Actually.
Actual show.
The
But yeah,
theme song is the best part of it.
but yeah, by trying to kill off Pepe, they, you know, in a way, Pepe has also become a martyr. It's like, yeah, he's like a digital martyr. Everyone's like, oh my god, he tried to kill Pepe, but we're not going to let him die. He will stay alive forever. In
That's our
essence-
Pepe. Get away, you normie.
in essence, just encouraging people just to keep making Pepe memes. I mean, if the original creators killed off the character, well, we must now try even harder to keep Pepe alive, because a world without Pepe is a world not worth living, or some shit like that.
Pretty much.
Amen.
Fascinating.
Very fascinating. But yeah. So Pepe will live a long and prosperous life, whether the original creator wants it or not.
He was just pissed off that he didn't have time to make any rare Pepes.
Exactly,
Speaking of
because the original creator could have made really good bank on.
On rare Pepes.
Yeah, he could make his own Pepes, and they could sell them for like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. But
Speaking of the right wing appropriating things, did you know that the 4chan managed to, basically Paul, managed to successfully get the gay pride flag registered as a hate symbol?
Oh, that's a new one to me.
Basically, Paul started using the gay pride flag themselves and interpreted the rainbow colors as a sign that the races should be kept pure and not mixed. Because
Actually, I saw that. Yeah, it was like divided is beautiful. And that was a brown flag.
Because if you mix all the colors, you get an ugly brown. But if you keep all colors separated and pure, they are beautiful.
It's like divided is beautiful.
But isn't that what the left is doing right now? I mean, think about it.
But when Paul says it, it gets registered as a hate symbol. So now the gays can't even use their own flag.
But this is a current trend. Like that hand gesture that's going around, like someone
they interpreted the peace sign to mean only two genders.
Yes. That was the best 4chan thing I saw in a long time.
I was talking about this other one where people were like, "Oh my god, the OK sign now means white power," because some 4chan dude was like, "You know what would be funny if the OK sign became a Nazi symbol?"
And it became.
The media just picked it up.
Yeah.
It didn't even seem like they were questioning it. They were like, "Yeah, we believe it. It'll get us all the clicks, whatever." And now the OK sign is a hate symbol. Good
OK
fucking
sign,
Jord.
peace sign, gay pride flag. What will they take next?
At this point, yeah, you do wonder what will be next. Because at this point, it seems like everything's up for grabs. Nothing is sacred.
Everything is racist. Everything is racist according to me.
Well, tough shit.
4chan is awesome.
It is. I'm glad that they went back to sculpting and you know, introducing perspective into things.
Or people will just see through. I mean, if we're going to go full SJW and stop people from culturally appropriating everything, then I want my business suit back. If I see someone who's not, you know, European wearing a business suit, which includes Americans, because now I'm just going to shamelessly claim that it's a European thing, even though I'm pretty sure Americans had their hand in it. So yeah, Americans. Africans, Asians,
Americans.
No one is allowed to use business suits except for us Europeans, and then otherwise it's culturally appropriation. You cannot wear it. You just can't. Even though it's more or less inconceivable at this point that you'd be wearing anything else. But you know, just gonna deal with it.
Deal with it.
Or not, I don't know. Speaking of culturally appropriation, since we did link Samurai Jack to culturally appropriation, I think there's a really nice topic relating to Samurai Jack. So if you haven't seen the last episode yet, actually we're not going to spoil too much except for
No, there was no last episode. Nothing happened. No. No.
Well, let's just summarize stuff to do stuff what is important. Let's just say that it is officially confirmed that the main protagonist, only known as the samurai or Jack, is in fact heterosexual. Like he definitely is into women.
Wasn't it already kind of confirmed in the original series, though?
Yeah, but now it's confirmed with beyond any doubt.
I mean, wasn't the issue? Oh, go ahead.
And apparently, Tumblr can't handle it at all. Like throwing a fit. Like being offended and triggered by the mere notion that someone is heterosexual.
Well, that's the world we live in now. Apparently, being heterosexual is, well, it's a problematic and very and very out of the ordinary, according to these people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I mean, how dare the TV channels push the agenda of heteronormativity? That's not okay.
Yeah, you should be promoting homosexuality or pansexuality or I don't know, wheelbarrow sexuality. None of this heterosexuality shit. But yeah, the reaction to this new episode is really hilarious, but also
and really, I mean, there are things that can be legitimately argued about the episode, whether it's good or bad, but they specifically said that they have problems with heterosexuality. Like, they specifically said that they are offended by the heterosexuality of it.
Well, tough shit. I'm offended by a metric shit ton of things on a daily basis, so there's nothing stopping them from being offended every now and then. Deal with it. That's being alive.
Word.
Yes.
Yo.
And that goes for all peoples. Like, every single day I exist, I am exposed to ideas and phrases and whatnot that just offend me down to the core of my being. You don't see me going around, oh my god, these people should not be allowed to say the things they say because it offends me.
Well, we do have this podcast where we basically bitch all evening.
Or not. I mean, we do bring up some good news every once in a while, I guess. Which is to say that the last episode was okay. To be honest, the last episode wasn't that great. It was a nice episode, but yeah,
it had some good moments.
It had some good moments, but it definitely wasn't. I think the episode before that was definitely a lot better than this one. This one's obviously put in there to establish, yes, those two are an item now, and get used to it. But then again,
deal with it.
Then again, this is Jenny Tartakovsky we're dealing with. It is very clear that his idea of storytelling is, yeah, Samurai Jack's never been a too deep six me series. Some people might have gotten the impression that it is.
It was always very artsy, though.
But that's it. It's got a lot of artistic fluff to it, but it isn't exactly a philosophical masterpiece or anything. It's basically like, yeah, here's a cool story about a cool samurai doing all sorts of cool shit, and yeah, there's, you know, swords and robots. Robots are cool, right? And the samurai does really cool shit. And there's also chicks.
He has a sword.
He's got a really cool sword. And he also fights the bad guys. And he's a samurai, so he's really cool. Because he's a samurai.
And he's Jack.
And he's Jack. That's the basic...
Jack,
oh, okay.
Actually, Jack isn't his real name.
I'm pretty sure.
But he's
That's
Jack.
just a nickname. in the very first episode. We never actually got to know his real name. I do
Or
wonder,
like Peter or something.
I
Something not
do
cool.
wonder if they reveal his real name at the end of the series now.
Why would they? Nobody cares.
At that point, yeah, no one cares because the series should be over. You know, he's gonna go up to Aku and he says, "Stop it!" And Aku's like, "No," and it's like, "Well, stop it, all of you, or I will use my sword." Oh, well, you do
Aku
bring
is
up-
like, foolish samurai!
but then he GTFOs because he's like, "Yeah, but I can't be dealing with this," and then he turns into Cole.
I can't be dealing with the sword.
Yeah, he turns to Cole Pilkington. He's like, "I can't be dealing with this." And just sits there with his billiard ball head and beady little eyes like, "You will me. I understand any of this. I'm just a dumb fuck. I might be the source of all evil, but yeah."
Evil.
Evil.
No.
Just no. Well, the ending's probably gonna. I don't know what's gonna go on with the ending. There are quite a few ways you could go about doing it. I mean, now we've brought the whole aspect of Ashy being, well, she's basically Aku's offspring, even though we're not even sure if Aku is directly involved in creating her.
I mean, knowing Aku, he has no idea that cult existed at all.
No, I don't think he's
Like,
even
there were
aware.
just random people who decided to have a cult to Aku, and Aku was like
Nah,
hiding in his house and not paying attention to anything that went on.
well, that's his character now. He doesn't give a shit, but he's also immensely bothered by the fact that Samurai Jack's still around. So,
Ah.
it's-
Not bothered. He actually made it pretty clear that he no longer gives a damn.
You know, I think that was the
Which
best thing
was
about
impressive.
the mother, because she was like trying so hard to gain Aku's favor just for him to show up and talk to them, while Aku had no idea anything like that even exists. Basically, she was trying really hard for the senpai to notice her.
Well, I guess he tried so hard that she got pregnant by just sheer will. Like
She
Aku
tried
do-
so hard.
She tried so hard that her body synthesized Aku's DNA and that gave birth to the daughters. No need for sexy times. She just copied Aku's DNA with just sheer willpower, which is, you know, rather admirable. Like a woman going that far to get preggers, they better be good kids, and they kind of are. Though 6 out of 7 got killed, so I guess there's a rather low success rate there.
Well, we never got the deaths of the other two confirmed.
Oh, so you're saying that
You know the
might...
cartoon law that if there's nobody, then they aren't dead. So unless they don't show up until the end of the episode, I wouldn't write them off.
I don't know. I mean, they did bring back the mother and sees that that's a pretty big indicator that, well, you know, that's been done and dealt with. That's gone. That I don't think they're going to bring back one or two of the other daughters. I think this is no. I don't think they're gonna bring them back. But you know, I might be wrong. I mean, it makes sense that brought the mother back because she was never killed off. Or maybe there's another twist where it's like, oh, but samurai, you see, I made even more Aku daughters. And then there's like an army of 700 Aku daughters. And they're even more fanatical than Ashy ever was. So yeah, there's...
That has
Yeah, but then again, the Scotsman was also very busy.
Oh, yeah.
So,
But
so
the thing is, he's a man.
yeah, but you know,
It
so
works kind of differently.
so yeah, if if Aku has been very busy, even if he just used magic or whatnot, I mean, he is the personification of evil. And if the Scotsman's been very busy, then we might get to see like a really big battle, like the largest bitch fight in recorded history. Where you have like hordes of women just slaughtering one another. And
Oh my.
yeah, and after that, I don't
pretty
want to
sure
hear
that
another
someone-
peep about sexism in the media, because you know that's the,
Me media.
I am pretty damn sure that's someone's fetish.
yeah, and that's exactly what people will complain about.
Speaking of accusations of sexism,
Uh,
I do love how CEO went a full turn. Long time they freaking hated the new Samurai Jack, largely because of Ashi, because they claimed it was feminazi propaganda.
mhm.
Now, after the current episodes, and after Tumblr getting totally triggered, they
Foory samurais.
they suddenly took a full turn.
Oh yeah, 4chan. Yeah, they really thought that. Oh my God, this is. Well, to be fair, it was only a silent or small vocal minority. There were a bunch of people that were going like, "Oh my God, you know, in this episode, what's her face? Ashi was like beating the shit out of this guy, which is obviously an analogy to rape. I mean, it can't just be a guy using electroshocks to torture her. No, that it has to be an analogy. You know, it can't be anything
And now
else.
they love it. Well, certain artists took it as an analogy.
Analogy.
I'm pretty sure a certain artist did. I would not be surprised at all.
At least two.
Mhm.
I know that Zone reacted to it, and Shadowman reacted to it.
Well, Zone recently did draw that picture of Samurai Jack and Ashi, so you got that going for you, I guess.
It actually even looked decent.
Yeah, I really liked it. Then again, Zone has a thing for drawing things very show accurate. I'm pretty sure it's a he. He has a way of doing that. Though you can, it's very obvious when. What he would usually do is take clips from the show he's parodying.
And draw over them, basically. At least that's how it always seemed to me.
Well, not necessarily draw over them or trace them, but yeah, you can obviously see the transitions between the actual episode and his parody. But then again, you still have to hand it to him. He knows how to do things. But then again, it's not.
It's an artist now.
I mean, his main audience doesn't really care about that kind of details.
Yeah.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised.
Hmm? Yeah, the people that enjoy
I
Rule
would not be
34 and that
surprised.
kind of stuff are very picky when it comes to being show accurate and whatnot.
Needs to be technically
It
accurate.
needs to be technically accurate. Yes, I see you just drew Fluttershy being fucked by 6 guys, but she actually has. You actually drew a cutie mark wrong. It's got 3 butterflies, not just 2. Therefore, I can't get off to this. It's just not show accurate enough.
I think I actually
Fake
saw
fit.
posts.
Sorry?
I think I actually saw posts like this.
Yeah, because all comedy is based on observations, and these are actual things that I've seen floating about. In before, do you go to those sorts of sites? That's a thing. This sort of thing just hits you in the face no matter what you do. It's there.
That's what she said.
No, that's not what she said. Unless Astra said. Astra, Did I said that at one point, or did you say that at one point? Just say yes, because you're obviously paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Astra agrees. Yep, Astra's very busy, presumably playing the Overwatches.
Presumably. Maybe she's
Presume.
not playing the Overwatches.
Maybe she's playing the Minecrafts. Maybe,
Yes.
maybe she's playing Minecraft, which is basically like, but she's using the D.Va character or whatever, so it's like D.Va playing Minecraft. Well, I'm drawing D.Va from Overwatch.
Minecraft.
The craft is mine.
Be Minecrafty.
Minecraft for Switch released today.
Wow. So now we can. So now those 10-year-olds can bring the Minecrafts with them, even though they could already do that since Minecraft's been on any platform imaginable. I'm pretty sure Minecraft's also been released on toasters at one point. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
I know that Doom was released on bank tellers,
On what?
unofficially.
On what? On.
You know, bank tellers or bank automats, or how do you
Oh, you
call
mean
them?
ATMs?
ATMs.
ATMs, yes.
Yeah, but that's
Basically,
not,
someone modified an ATM.
yeah, but that's not really much of a challenge because a lot of those machines actually run on like Windows 95 or whatever. I've seen some of them
from
run
what I
on really archaic versions of Windows.
From what I have seen, they actually run. Most of them nowadays run actually Windows XP.
Yes, which is also outdated as fuck.
And this is the reason that, and this is the reason why XP is still getting updates, because they still gotta update those versions. So basically, you can the updates that get released for that still are compatible with Windows XP.
But why aren't they just upgrading those ATMs to well, real version of Windows? Because at this point, Windows XP is just archaic. Like even Windows 7 is starting to become outdated at this point. I mean,
No, never.
yes.
If I never update it, it's not going to get updated. Oh, by
No.
the way, there's a very critical patch released because you know how a few weeks ago it kind of leaked that their CIA feature was present and healthy and alive, and everybody started using it. Well, apparently it's in the process of being hijacked and used to distribute crypto lockers.
Ah.
So probably maybe update. Updating
That,
is a good idea.
that's probably in the range of good ideas, yes. Just maybe just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a smidge. Speaking of CIA, I think Beck wanted to bring up a topic relating to
It's not
the
CIA, it's
or I mean
FBI.
To
FBI.
play Doom.
Same thing.
But yeah, our idea, big leader, that it's not Kim Jong. What's his name? Kim Jong Il, whatever.
It's
The big,
Kim Jong-un.
exactly, but the second greatest
Ill died,
leader.
was too ill.
Exactly, but the second greatest leader of all time, Mr. Donald Trump, has fired the boss of the FBI.
So is he going to become the boss himself? Because
Yes,
that's
we
the
don't
thing
know.
he'd like to be.
That's how it
I'm
works
pretty
now.
sure, yeah.
He is running the United States as a business, so is
Yeah.
he just going to take over that position? Is he just going to become the FBI?
I'm sure he would love to if they let him.
Well,
But
It
yeah.
was allowed to.
But yeah, he got fired. But yeah, he got suddenly fired. They are always giving contradictory reasons, but it happens to be that he was the guy leading the investigations against Trump. Like, especially because things were starting to get heated, like all the evidence and everything. Apparently, there might have been something showing up, and so he just got rid of him.
hmm
I think there was a president that did something similar a few years ago. maybe a few decades ago, and it's what got him impeached. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining things.
Remember, if Trump gets impeached, we get the other guy who is, from what I've heard, much worse.
The master of all lightning!
Oh yes, he will definitely.
So what-
Amazingly shocking Mike Pence, turning
So-
transgenders into transistors.
Well, so what's the
yeah.
difference to Trump? I mean,
So if
Trump is
Trump-
basically just his puppet.
Not really. I mean, if Pence was in charge, let's say that, you know how there used to be those gay re-education camps? Well, then they would be mandatory.
Mm.
So yeah, what I get from this is that you seem to suggest that maybe we should impeach Trump because he fired this particular guy.
No, I mean, it's like he fired the guy that's responsible for the investigations against Trump.
Well, he was also investigating against the Democrats at one point. So yeah,
Of course.
people when he was investigating the Democrats, you know, the people supporting Trump and whatnot were like, oh yeah, go you go girl, and then he turned his visor on Trump and then, oh my god, so stupid. So yeah, it all depends on the side you're on, I guess. It is all very, very silly. And that's all I have to say about it, because I
Yeah,
haven't really
but
been
when he
paying-
was, I think he was also responsible behind investigating the emails of Hillary,
yeah, that's what I was
from what I can
referring to.
recall, and that's what made him the national hero, and
Hilarious.
that's what got Trump elected. And now he's, you know, investigating against Trump, and nope, you're fired because Trump is so good at it. You're fired.
He likes firing people. What can I say?
Well, this is
Coming soon to TVs. The next FBI director.
But yeah,
It's like a season of The Apprentice, but just gonna be like possible candidates for next FBI directors, and the winner gets the job.
well, maybe I should apply for a position. It might be funny, I guess.
Yes, you should do that.
You know,
Don't you have to be a U.S. citizen to get the job?
I don't care. I'll make it legal. I mean, come on, Trump got elected to become the president of the United States. I'm sure I can become the head of FBI somehow. Just gotta believe, you know, it's the American dream, or some shit like that. Just, you know, I'll just waltz in there and be like, well, I'm much better than that other guy that you just fired. I mean, I can draw D.Va from Overwatch. Well,
That's
you
the
bring
best
up-
qualification.
Yes,
That's
you-
exactly what we needed. Hire him.
There was like no down to the very last details. Exactly what we needed. You're hired. Now just draw D.Va all day long, every day,
All day, every day.
and it was all part of Trump's master plan. Because now that the director of the FBI is doing nothing but draw D.Va all day long, he can't actually investigate. And that's when he turns America into an actual reality show where every citizen is part of the show.
That would be awesome.
And then he can just
Sounds good.
fire everyone in the United States. It's like, you're fired, get out.
Fired from the United States.
Yes, exactly. But then we get true equality, because it doesn't matter what ethnicity or race or whatever you are. Everyone can be fired, including the former presidents. So it's gonna be like, Bill, I don't like your saxophone. You're fired. Get out. But you
Bill
know,
has a saxophone.
well, yeah, but the problem with that is that he probably moved to Canada or something.
So, in other words, he's going to take a huge catapult
Huge.
and catapult everyone through the wall.
Through the wall, so not even.
Huge.
Well, the real question is how is Trudeau going to react to this? Because he's going to deal with a lot of fired Americans. And and Canada is not very large.
There will all be either in Mexico or in Canada.
Well, in that case, Canada just becomes the new United States. So the United States just moves up north. So yeah, in like 2 years' time, the United States is simply in Canada. But then we have to deal with, you know, Trudeau being the president of the United States, because they'll just rename Canada to the United States, because you might as well do that at that point.
Wouldn't be the first time this happened.
Well, then
remember why?
Didn't Canada actually try to invade the United States at one point, where they were like, these American sons of bitches need to go.
That's what I think. That's what
they were like,
too much effort.
I think that one was back when Canada was still officially considered a part of the UK.
Pretty much. But maybe Theresa May is like, you know, now that all these Americans are coming over to Canada, you know, we Brexited, which means that we're now ultra independent, which means that we obviously gonna go and colonize other countries again, because that's just what we do. So they just annex Canada into the British Empire, and I don't know where it goes from there, but that's just what they do. Isn't that right, Astra?
What?
This is the Astra time with the Astra. So yeah, Astra, if Canada becomes the new United States and you guys are fully Brexited, would you just take it and make it part of the British Empire again? Now that
I'm playing Overwatch. I wasn't paying attention that whole time.
Yay!
Well, let me translate to Overwatch terms. So you know, you just rage quitted from a group, and now you're in a different group, and the other team is trying to take your objective, but you capture it before they're able to get it. I'm trying to make this analogy for Brexit, but so yeah, you capture the objective because obviously Britain is yours and not theirs. And then you decide to just get someone else's objective as well, because you might as well. And you obviously use D.Va because he can just nuke the entire place. Yeah.
Nerf this!
Well, that's obviously why Trump would, you know, tell me to draw D.Va all day long, because he likes her ult. Which is obviously what's going to do to North Korea at some point.
And she's got a great personality.
The plot thickens because D.Va's Korean, so you use
thick,
extra thick.
Oh god, yeah, that's a pretty funny meme, XDDD. But yeah, it does add another layer of irony if they actually use D.Va to nuke the shit out of Pyongyang or whatever, because, you know, she's Korean and she's also from the future, so I guess it's also predetermined or some shit like that. Is the Korea and the Overwatch universe still, you know, the Korea as we know it? Their flag seems to suggest it. So that means that in the Overwatch universe is still like a descendant of the dear leader. So would Omnix in the Overwatch universe in North Korea still, you know, would they also be subjected to communism, even though they're robots? And yeah, shit's getting a bit too philosophical in here, I guess. Anyway, maybe we should try and bring up another topic, because this isn't going anywhere. Well, this is a topicless episode after all, so.
Well, there is, yes. Say your topic first.
Well, I don't have
Ah,
any
nothing.
topics.
I was
Oh.
just about to remark that our government is not falling apart as quickly as it was expected.
Oh,
The
so
prime minister was like, nope. And then there were several more recordings of the minister of finance commanding newspapers what to publish. And I was like, okay, maybe I fucked up. I'll step down.
maybe.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the president was like, I'm not letting him step down. I like him.
Maybe.
And then the president was like, he trolled everybody by giving amnesty to the most famous, or infamous rather, criminal in Czech Republic.
Again?
Well, this time it's definitive. Like, it's a guy who was a killer for hire, and he killed 2 people and almost killed the 3rd person. And since he didn't kill him, that person, testified against him, and that got him into jail for life. Then he escaped from our most secure prison. Then he got arrested again. Yeah,
Maybe-
and now after 23 years in prison, the president is like, okay, I'll give him a pardon. Well, of course, 7 years
Now he-
in probation.
And now he can have his revenge.
Yes, obviously.
Maybe they were like, things are gonna go and be pretty shitty in France, so maybe we should be that shitty, I guess.
Well, maybe he released him so he has a guy for the post of Minister of Finance.
Hmm?
That's my theory.
Who can then deal with all the policies by Macron?
The other theories are that the president is putting together a Czech version of Avengers.
Sounds more like Suicide Squad to me.
Or that.
Well, then again, dealing with Macron's probably easier than with someone like Le Pen, to be honest. Because, with Macron, you're like, well, it's just, we basically don't need to change. Everything's just gonna stay the same, more or less. I mean, we're still going to have to
I mean, you're having a meeting with Macron, and all he's asking is, how old is your mom?
Exactly. And then you're like, well, mom is about 30 years older than me, I guess. And then it's like, get the fuck out. Get out of my sight. You normie.
What's his problem?
Get on my level. Well, Macron's wife is like, what, 30 years
25 years older.
older than you, yeah. So
It happens that his wife is also his high school teacher.
Nice. I'm pretty sure he just fulfilled someone's fetish.
well,
His fetish, by the way.
to be perfectly honest, that's like the most petty shit to hold against someone like that, but still,
He
it's
fulfilled
pretty.
his own fetish.
It is pretty
Oh.
hilarious.
Nice.
It is.
It's very nice.
I mean, small minds talk about people, and great minds talk about I don't know, concepts or something like that. But the greatest of minds obviously draw D.Va, so
You're preparing for the post of the CIA guy or FBI guy.
oh yes. I mean, I gotta have the perfect CV. Everyone's just coming in like, yeah, I got experience with intelligence gathering, and then I did this and that, and I was working at this security firm, and I did some really important shit, so I'm really looking forward to be working for the United States government. Then I just come in and be like, I drew this D.Va on a Friday night while I was talking with a bunch of people on the internet. Well, fuck it, you're hired. Oh, okay. Sweet.
Nice.
How many divas can you draw
I just need to draw
in a
one.
typical day?
This is the only time I've ever drawn D.Va. Well, good enough for me. I mean, all the other applicants didn't draw any, so that obviously makes you the better candidate.
Yeah, even one diva is better than no divas.
Exactly. I mean, I won't, of course, I won't mention that there's a plethora of people on the internet that draw almost nothing but D.Va, but, come on.
They don't need to know.
They don't need to know. I mean, he may be the president of the United States, but he doesn't need to know. He's
Why would you tell him?
I'm pretty sure he's internet savvy to know what's up with this sudden influx of Wendy's art, but he doesn't know about. He probably doesn't even know what Overwatch is.
It's something like overgrowth, I bet.
Something like that. He's like, can I make money off of it? And then it turns out, yes, you actually can. If you make a game like this, people buy a shit ton of loot boxes, which is nothing but cosmetics.
And
People
then
buy
he
it
changes
anyway.
the United States anthem into Overwatch team.
I never understood why people are willing to pay for a mere chance.
Me neither, but apparently a lot of people are buying loot boxes. I don't get
It's
it
a
either.
box that has loot in it, bruh!
I mean, it is brought up as Beck knows all about it. He's very against loot boxes and the very concept of loot boxes.
I'm also very against loot boxes.
Yeah, but
I am against loot boxes bought for real life currency.
well,
Oh,
yeah, that's
okay.
pretty much what you. Well,
Fair enough.
the thing about loot box in Overwatch is that it's completely optional.
Loot box.
Yeah, that's always the always the biggest argument that people say. It's always completely optional, and
It
of
is
course
optional.
You get it is quote unquote optional, yeah, but
No,
it's
it is
kinda
not- it's not
it's just lowering people because they know exactly there's a certain kind of people who see, oh, I got something from this loot box, maybe I should just get more.
Yes.
There's a certain and people, and basically what they are doing, even for they know it, and most people also know it, but they of course won't admit it officially. Is basically just legalized gambling. Basically, they can just, it's gambling.
And you don't even get anything useful from it. Like in real gambling.
I mean, in Z China, they have to
Publish the
tell people
probability.
the percentages. What?
Mhm.
What did you say, Artrix?
They have to publish
Yes,
the probability of getting certain items.
the
Yes,
percentages.
But of course, they always have the disclaimer or say like China has different probabilities than the rest of the world.
Of
just
course,
to-
because if
Indeed.
they're you
If
know,
they have to publish
publishing
them.
if they have to publish them, they're obviously gonna change them for other regions.
It's like quantum theory. The moment you observe the probabilities, they change.
But yeah, the thing I like about Overwatch's system when it comes to loot boxes is that it's completely optional. If you really want a certain item, there are ways to get them without paying any extra money. It really boils down
But you have to pay with a lot of time. The thing is, of course, people like cosmetics. That's why they do it. People like cosmetics and like, I mean, it's like this in real life. Some people just like wearing expensive watches, expensive clothing. Meanwhile, for you, just standard
I like
stuff will do.
wearing expensive loot boxes.
Yes, for example. But the thing is, like, if they were really concerned that people actually like cosmetics, they would have just like an in-game store and be like, oh, I want to buy this piece of cosmetics. Okay, it's £5, and then people are like, okay,
5 squid.
I mean, yeah, 5
I'm not a
squid,
fisherman.
exactly.
There's too many squid.
Yeah, we are not talking Splatoon, but yeah. But basically, what Team Fortress 2 is doing is, of course, you can just buy a cosmetic.
Yes.
Oh,
instead
I
of-
like this hat. Oh,
For $1.75.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my preferred method of acquiring goods is to just be able to just pay up right up front. That would be, you know.
I mean,
That's
that
not
would
like-
be like the
Artrix
most.
is not exciting enough.
Yeah, but that would be like the most honest option if you actually want to include cosmetics. I mean, of course, you can still get them for free if you farm long enough, but then you would actually have an option to be like, okay, I can just like, instead of farming for like, I don't know, for
Life?
2 days, exactly life, instead of, having no life and farming the currency, I can just plain out buy it for like €2 or $2 for instant currency here.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, but if you farm loot boxes, you are going to spend €40 instead of €5.
Yeah, for a chance to get it.
Yeah.
So
But
either
yeah.
you level up for another 20 levels and hope you get enough currency, especially if the skin is like a limited skin that costs 3,000 credits.
With rare drop chance,
Exactly.
or epic drop chance, or
Mhm.
legendary drop chance.
But
You know, when
we
I
all
played Overwatch beta, I actually got a legendary skin for our favorite cowboy, and then beta ended. And I was like, okay, there's no point in playing this game anymore.
So
I
that
don't
so
have
that
this.
so that was your end goal, to just get a skin for McCree and call
And
it
yes,
a
it's my end goal right now. Get the skin back. I got a skin for Ganji. I don't smoke.
But you won't lose McCree skin just because you got a Genji skin.
No, I won't lose it, but the problem is I didn't get it in the first place this time around.
Oh wait, so you wanted to get a Genji skin, but you didn't get it because...
No, why would I want a Genji skin?
Yeah,
Who cares
that's a
about
good
Genji?
Exactly, that's a good question. Why would you want a Genji skin?
No, I had a McCree skin.
Yeah, you
Then
still
beta
have it.
ended, and I stopped having McCree
Oh,
skin.
so the
And
beta
now
shit-
now I started the game again, and I got a Genji skin. I was
Oh.
like, well, this is a waste of skin.
In other words, the beta skins didn't carry over to the final retail
Exactly.
version now.
Well, no, that would be unfair.
That's kind of shitty.
Do you know about that person who had level 250 or whatever it was?
Hmm?
I guess that person was very disappointed.
I'm
Like
sure.
you do nothing but play Overwatch 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then they're going to reset your level. And you're not special anymore. You have to
And-
play again.
And then you may get the skin that you wanted. Maybe. Just maybe.
Maybe one day, maybe never.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, that's
Blizzard
the
will throw
thing,
you a bone,
and that's the
man.
thing. That's what they are thinking about with the loot boxes, because that's why they only offer the loot boxes instead of just being like, yes, you can just buy the skin. Of course, you can use in-game currency, but you either have to get duplicates of things you already have, or you have to get the in-game currency out of, you guessed it, loot boxes.
Well, just for the record, I do not prefer the system they have in place right now. It's not like if I had my say, I would do it like this. I mean, I even kind of like the concept of loot boxes, but I would make it so that you can just just buy items that you want to have. Like, yeah, I want this skin, you just pay them like £5 and then you just have it without having to grind. I mean, what I do like about the game as it is now is that you get all the gameplay elements that are to the game. You don't have to unlock game elements just to, for instance, you don't have to play just to unlock I don't know, McCree. Like, yeah, you have to.
That's the type of unlocking that I don't mind in games. That's actually kind of fun, but
Well,
loot boxes
yeah,
are like,
but
no, get away.
That's seriously the kind of thing that you find in shitty smartphone games, where like, yeah, for instance, that My Little Pony game at you, like, you either farm for literally thousands of years, or you pay up £60 and then you get rarity. And I think rarity
Well,
was one of those.
that's the Artrix. Shitty smartphone games are one thing. Normal games are the other thing. Because this doesn't have to be shitty games.
Yeah, exactly, and also
If
Overwatch is
it's
like,
done reasonably, like you can set it to 60 hours. Oh, that's a terrible example. Let's say it costs 5,000 points, and you can set it to getting 5 points per match or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's shitty. But if you set it to 1,000 points per match, then it's not shitty. It's just like, okay, learn to play with this basic champion, and then we'll allow you to get a more advanced one. And that's okay.
They're kind of doing that with the ranked system. Like, if you want to play ranked, you have to be at least level 25 because.
But
Yeah, that's
kinda, but that's something else. That's competitive. We
Mhm.
are talking about base skill needed to control the champion, not the learning all the features of the game that you can exploit to get the best scores
Mhm.
and the most kill shots and 70-20 triple scopes.
Yeah, and also the big difference is like the game that Xaverius is talking about is like, free to play. Like you just download it and you get all this stuff. You can either buy it or farm for it. Meanwhile, Overwatch is a free to play game that costs people at least $40. Or for most people, 60, because the $40 version is kind of hidden. You have to actually actively search for the $40 version to.
It's right there on the page. It's just so tiny you don't notice.
Yeah, and then it still asks you, are you sure you want just a $40 version, not the $60 one?
Are you sure? Are you really
Because-
sure?
I mean,
I-
look what you are missing out on. Yes, that's.
Yeah, that's basic marketing 101. You almost make this sound like companies aren't allowed to make any money.
Money sucks. Who knows money?
There's
Yeah,
a
money's
difference between. There's a difference between making money. There's difference between screwing customers over.
There's a difference between making money
Someone
because
thinks businesses do it for charity and whatnot. Oh, you're
there's a
so
difference
adorable.
between making money because your game is good and making money because your game is set up to make money.
Well, yeah. But what
Well-
if you can do both?
Well, Overwatch made them a lot of money. I mean, they made $1 billion
Still doesn't
through
mean
the
it's
year
good.
of Overwatch. Yeah, but it apparently, it is
Well,
waifus.
it's-
That's good enough. It
it's
is
new
waifus.
Blizzard.
That's the thing. Yeah.
New Blizzard. Ever since they got bought by Activision, their strategy was to get money because Activision is not a game company; it's a money company. That's the problem. So that's why
I think
making
I think you
such-
mean Vivendi because they fused with.
Activision is
Activision,
probably
yeah.
one of it, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that's why they are making such shitty games. The past 6 years or something like that. I know. No, I think the acquisition was like in 2009, so even more of it. Yeah, but that's all the reason why they are just making the most fucking simple, casual games that appeal to the lowest common denominator. I mean, look at Heroes of the Storm. That game has almost nothing.
I definitely agree with you there. I played it recently and it's such a bore fest.
Yeah, and that's why they did
extremely
this.
self-indulgent.
Yeah, and that's why they did this promotion. Like, if you play Heroes of the Storm, you will get a skin for Overwatch.
You will get a Genji. Who cares about Genji?
No, it was a D.Va skin, where he's like a police officer.
Oh,
but
I
still.
saw Genji skin. See,
Yeah.
that's the
Oh,
problem.
yeah, that
Or
was-
maybe the ad was just like showing Genji from Heroes of the Storm. Who knows?
There was a they had a promotion earlier where it was a Genji skin. Then it was a D.Va skin, and next time it's gonna be like 50 loot boxes or whatever. It was something like 10 loot boxes. Anyways, you play Heroes of the Storm and they give you loot boxes in Overwatch. But it's kind of sad that you.
You know that there could be funnier things to farm loot boxes, like I don't know, kill 10 divas.
Or just
Get a loot box.
or just playing Overwatch instead of playing a game that you don't want to play in order to get
Oh,
a skin
that's
in
silly.
Overwatch.
Artrix, are you saying that those 3 loot boxes per week is not enough for you?
I get more than 3 loot boxes per week.
Well, yes, because you level up, but I mean from the first wins.
You mean when you played arcade mode or whatever? Or
Oh yeah.
because yeah, and that was a recent addition, by the way. Apparently the game didn't have arcade until they decided to add it, and now you can also.
Well,
earn the-
I like arcade very much because it for some reason doesn't count as a as a played time.
Oh.
So even though I'm level 12, I have 5 minutes of playtime, and I found it beautiful.
Oh, so you. That's weird. So it doesn't count towards your playtime, but you still level up. Okay, that's.
Oh yeah. Well, I get XP for doing matches, but it's just the time doesn't count as playtime for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, I
for,
think.
for achievement purposes.
I-
So all I ever played according to the statistic in game is 5 minutes of Hanzo.
I think you can actually I think it actually keeps track of it per game mode. So if you play quick play, there's like a different tab.
I don't know.
for it,
I was
and
looking at the stats in the profile at the main screen.
yeah,
don't know.
I think it records it separately, so it keeps track of which game mode you play and how much of it you play. Because I was playing competitive, someone's like, yeah, you only have like an hour in competitive, and I was, oh, I didn't even know that.
You're not
well.
competitive enough. Kicked out of party.
Except
You need at least level 120 and 60 hours of competitive. Come on, Artrix.
They need to be at least, you know, you need to have at least a golden avatar, which means that you that you are level 900 something.
Exactly.
And
that's like the basics.
That's like the bare minimum of playing competitive.
That's base level.
I mean, get good scrub. Anyway, we're reaching
Scrap
the end.
tricks.
We're reaching the end of the episode. So if anyone has a topic they want to bring up, you better do it now. Oh.
There is one more topic.
Stop with all these topics.
Yeah, this is a topicless episode. So we're doing. Yeah, but
You're doing very poorly.
Go ahead.
Well, if you don't want a topic, then
No, go ahead. Tell us.
well, apparently, veterinarians in the USA are now basically have to implore, or rather, pet owners who happen to also be vegans, feed their pets meat.
I like meat.
They seem to suffer from some sort of delusion that a dog or a cat or a ferret or a carnivorous reptile can survive on a vegan diet just like they do. I mean, I don't believe a human can even survive on a vegan diet, but okay, it's you. Like, you destroy your own life. But please don't ruin the lives of your pets by feeding them food they are not evolved to consume. Give them actually the food that nature intended.
I've heard about this phenomenon a few times. It is very retarded, of course, and it's also very unfortunate for the animals involved. I mean, just imagine being... Well, it's not that bad for dogs. Dogs are fairly omnivorous. Omnivorous. But yeah, I think it's particularly cats that really can't really go without the consumption of meat. Like if you...
Yeah, a cat will basically starve to death if it doesn't have at least
I once had a
some-
cat so stupid that he ate tomatoes.
Did he die?
Eventually.
Oh, eventually. It just took him like 20 years, didn't it? You gave him tomatoes and you were like, oh my god, I gave my cat tomatoes, he's going to die. And then the cat was like, yes, I'm going to die. And then he lived for 20 years and then he died.
It's exactly like with dogs and chocolate.
Yes. You give dog some chocolate and he
Well,
lives for 15
as far
years.
as dogs and chocolate goes, it depends on how large the dog is and how much chocolate.
Yeah, they can
Obviously, you have to be a retard to give him an entire tablet of chocolate.
Yes.
Nonsense. I'll give my dog like 6 billion milk chocolate bars. I'm pretty
Artrix,
sure
you
he'll
don't
be
have a dog,
fine.
and this is the exact reason why.
Actually, I'm fully aware that dogs are not very fond of... Well, they are fond of chocolate. That's a problem. If you present them chocolate, it's like, hey doggy,
You
here's
like
some
them,
chocolate. You like it, and the dog just, you know, chomps its shit down like it's nothing, and then it dies.
Artrix, that's the problem with dogs in general. If you have something, they eat it until there's nothing more left of it. It's
No,
not doesn't apply just to chocolate.
But yeah, I may personally not own dogs, but my parents do. So yeah, they pretty much made sure that I know, no, you cannot give doggy some chocolate. He'll die
Yeah, I mean, for dogs,
Instantly.
instantly.
For dogs, chocolate is basically like heroin.
Yes, something
It's
like
tasty.
that. I'm not even sure if it's tasty to dogs. There are plenty of things.
It's
dogs...
sweet, it's tasty.
There are plenty of things that dogs can eat that are just fine. For instance, one of my parents' dogs, he really liked ice cream, like the soft serve ice cream. So we'd go to the forest, run around a bit, and when we came back, we went to the ice cream stall. We just bought a big cone of ice cream, and the dog just
Go to the
gobbled
forest
that shit up.
to the ice cream tree.
Well, at this, if it was an actual ice cream tree where I could go and just, you know, get ice cream straight out of the tree, the dog would do it. He would go there and just eat ice cream all day long. But unfortunately he didn't, and he died a few years later, but to something completely unrelated. I think he had like back cancer, so his back literally stopped working, and we had to hook him up to glucose just to keep him running. And then the doctor was like,
it's cancer, so technically he had too many bags.
Yes. So
He grew one extra bag and it was too much.
So the doctor was like, yeah, your dog's running off pure glucose now, but he's not exactly going to do that for the rest of his life, so you might as well just let him
He's
stop.
not going to exactly do that for the next 2 days.
Yeah, so you might as well pull the plug, I guess. Quite literally. If you pull this plug, your dog will just
Pull the plug on the dog.
If you pull this plug, this dog will just cease to exist and be a dead dog. Which is a non-preferred mode of dog, but right now it kind of is the preferred mode of dog because your dog
mode of dog.
your dog's suffering, man. Do you want to have that on, man? Do you want to have that on your conscience? Look at that dog. You know, it's like having a phone that's hooked up to like one of those shitty USB batteries that you didn't charge properly. That's your dog right now. Do you want that for your dog? Really? Do you? Fine.
Make sure to recharge your dog, man.
Fine. Pull the plug. And then doggy was dead. Forever.
That's not very nice of you, Artrix.
Well, you wanted me to just keep that dog hooked up to glucose for the rest of his life. You know,
Yes, for the rest of your life.
Well, that would be even more terrifying for the dog because, you know, it needs to...
It will be eternal dog. What are you talking about?
It needs to outlive me. Then that in and of itself is quite a challenge. Because
Yes, because you will hook yourself up to glucose too. It will just a battle. Who's going to last longer?
Like, you think you're so special, dog? Well, I'm the superior life form. I'm going to out.
I'm special too.
I'm going to out glucose you, and I'm using super glucose, which is even more glucose than the glucose you're on, dog. And then dog's like, you're on. And it's a very non-exciting battle because it's just, you know, dog and a guy just laying there being hooked up to bags of glucose.
You could say it's pretty rough.
Yes. Or you can just introduce. I'm pretty sure toads would be a very good substitute somehow. I'm pretty sure they would do a better job even at this.
Toads do pretty good job, even at being a dog or a glucose. Toads don't complain. They're not choosy.
Exactly. What if we replaced all the dogs in the world with toads? Well, they're lower in maintenance. You don't need to buy dog food.
Genius.
Shit's expensive.
But they need insects.
Yeah,
They
but
do need insects. Live ones, preferably.
They need frog food, right?
Well, all you need to do is just, you know, hook them up with Pepe means and you'll be fine.
I'm not entirely sure it works like that.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a frog expert or toad expert. I might be talking about toads all the fucking time, but it doesn't automatically makes me an expert.
It makes you a frog entrepreneur.
No, that's when I don't know, hire frogs to do my bidding. But they're really shitty employees. I tried hiring a frog once. It was like, yeah, I want you to do this animation for me because I'm actually like the French. I'm le tired. And then the frog just sat there at my Cintiq and was like, you know, this frog's being fucking useless. Just
Frogging useless.
Yes. I mean, even that grasshopper that once jumped on my desk was more useful than this frog. Like this one time, I was just sitting at my desk, working, and then out of fucking nowhere, a grasshopper just dropped vertically down from some shelf. So
He hopped, even though there was no
No,
grass.
he-
Wait,
no,
you're in
no.
Dutchland. There was probably some grass somewhere.
he didn't even hop, he just dropped down, like vertically just dropped right in front of me. And it was like, yo,
He was
I'm
probably
a
on the ceiling or
grasshopper.
something.
He was probably on the shelf right above me, but still. The
Why do you
way-
have grasshoppers on the shelf, Artrix?
Because back then I was living in the middle of fucking nowhere, and there were
In the fridge.
grasshoppers. No, it was like,
Fridge
well,
full of grasshoppers.
okay, maybe it's like the prelude to a fridge, because there was a lot of farmland around, so the farmers probably were growing a bunch of stuff that eventually ends up in my fridge. But yeah,
It's like pre-fridge.
yeah, so it is pre-fridge. But yeah, the frog
The
just
prequel to fridge.
so yeah, the grasshopper probably got in somehow, and then he just decided to drop down on my desk.
Grasshopper.
How curious. Anyway, I think this is probably we had a good run. I think I'm just gonna end it, but I don't have any knives around, so I guess
But
it's the-
Artrix,
yeah.
you have so much to live for.
Oh yeah.
Don't listen to him.
I suppose I still need to finish this this D.Va. So yeah, I do have much to live for. I mean, how else I'm going to become the next FBI guy?
You have one entire D.Va to live for.
Exactly. But the trick, of course, is to keep doing it for the rest of my life, so I don't actually need to commit suicide. That's how I cheat the system,
Or, just come up with a different project.
Or I just
Nonsense.
keep, or I can be like, I've just drawn D.Va, but it's not good enough. I'm going to draw again, and just keep repeating.
You need
the
to draw a
process
super D.Va.
forever. So eventually, I just end up drawing something that doesn't look like D.Va whatsoever, but technically I'm still drawing D.Va, so no need to
Yeah,
suicide.
it's a post D.Va. It's like postmodernism, but with D.Va.
Yes. Convince a bunch of hipster facts that I'm actually, it's like the new renaissance of art or whatever, and they'll just gobble that shit up because they're hipsters.
Speaking of D.Va, by the way, did you know that D.Va's police costume might, or rather, well, did you hear the theory that D.Va's police costume is a reference to Zootopia?
That's an interesting one. So,
D.Va's
It's because they are both women!
Not only that, because D.Va's original logo, like default logo,
was it bunny?
D.Va's
Bunny.
default logo is a bunny.
It
And
still
so
is.
it's basically a bunny cop.
It still is. Like her official logo thingy. I even put it on her chest. It's a bunny.
Yes.
And it's actually funny because you're getting exploded
Funny
by
bunny?
a huge explosion, but he's so cute, kawaii, sugoi.
So basically,
Sugoi.
she's a bunny who is also a cop.
So gay.
So yeah, this was yet another retarded episode of the least professional podcast on the internet.
So a fairly normal episode then.
We had no topics whatsoever. Like, subscribe, do all of that good jazz. See you all next week
Do the badges
for
too.
the new episode.
Don't discriminate between good and evil.
I don't care, and don't die, and yeah. Yeah, I'm going to end it. Bye.